it it always kind of sucks when like things just I don't ever get to talk about them, because it doesn't do any good for anybody else. Doesn't even really do any good for me, you know. I have to wonder about the purpose behind things, you know. I still have trouble looking at pictures of Kay, and I was just in the middle of teaching somebody how to use spray cans, and giving them like an art lesson, and I was going through my phone to try to pull up a picture of something that I was talking about, and I passed the favorite picture that I have of her, and I can never bring myself to delete it, and there are people that'll say that keeping that picture is not doing anything for me, but for me, it's like willingly deleting a moment from my life that I knew. I mean, at that time, I was happy, Yeah, and maybe I had to convince myself I was happy. I had to lie to myself and tell myself I was happy because of the realization that, the person that I loved most in the world, didn't even really like me all that much. But, when you're a kid and you're watching, a magician, you don't know that he's not really making the rabbit disappear. You don't know that he's not really sawing somebody in half, And in that moment, even though the moment's a lie, because you believe it, it's magical. And that's, it's very much true for adults. And, it's hard to have this this cognitive dissonance and going on inside of me that is, this love for a person that didn't actually exist. This missing, this longing, this fucking constant, never-ending, veil of sorrow that spans over every moment since, all for someone that didn't actually exist, realizing that the person that did exist didn't love me, didn't like me, couldn't wait to get away from me. And the letter that she wrote me, 2 weeks before she left. And, that was, to me, that was one of the most cruel things a human being could ever do to another human being. Because it was all the things that, like, I had been missing from that relationship. All the things that I wanted to believe were true. But up until that point, I had to lie to myself about it. That letter, it cemented so many things that made me feel for the briefest of moments that it wasn't all just a fabrication, And then to have her leave 2 weeks later and just never looking back, it lets me see that I was right the whole time. And nobody ever wants to be right 100% of the time, especially when it comes to things like that. Since then, the horrific things that I've seen, that I've experienced, that have had done to me, all in the name of trying to drown out that pain with stronger pain, but I realize that nothing is ever going to be stronger than that. I'll survive everything, but every day it still rots my soul, It rots my soul because the person that I loved most in the world, that, I would have forgiven anything, she ended up hating me for things that weren't even true or were half truths, or for her just justifications. Like, it feels foolish missing somebody that didn't exist. And the fact that all this time has passed, hasn't been the slightest inclination on her part to reach out. Hasn't been the slightest inclination for her to desire to want to know the truth of it, because the truth isn't what matters. And that's the other thing that hurts the most, is the fact that she blamed me for all these things, and it wasn't because she thought them or believed them, it was because it was convenient. And, I'm mostly a happy guy these days. I do what I love. I make art, and people pay me for my art. And, there's a line out the door of people that want me to make art for them. And all I can really think is about how amazing it is, but how it would be transcendent to share that with the person that I love. And that person that couldn't tell the difference between the people that love her and the people that are just trying to achieve their agenda. And then the things that she did to hurt me, without ever considering whether or not, the formula added up. Remember, I knew the moment that she was going to leave when she had made a comment, and the comment alluded to the fact that really what she had been thinking about was ways that it could be put on me. It was I that ruined everything. I acknowledge it. I messed up a lot, but I never did that. I never would have let her believe that she was loved when she wasn't. Person that I loved so much that I would have given my life, no questions asked. Person who I would have signed on to be miserable for the rest of my life if it meant that she was happy. And these are the things I can't say to people, because people want to have hope that they can get past certain things, and I want to have hope that certain things can be left in the past. But when her and I got married, I did so knowing that I wasn't going to want anybody else ever again. All I can say is I hope wherever she's at now, she's happy, and she's got the life that she felt that I couldn't give her. Maybe she's happy and she found somebody that she feels is worthy of her. Because, truth be told, I knew just standing next to her, kissing her, making love to her, that was never going to be worthy. Not because of anything she did to make me feel that way, at least in those moments, but just because I knew how amazing she was. And then there were the moments where she made sure to let me know that I wasn't wrong about that thought process. Those moments where she said things that were so fucking twisted and like just hateful. I couldn't even look at her. Like, and so now I still can't delete these photos, because they represent the version of my life that existed before. And the worst part is there's all these fucking idiots that running around, saying that the things that have happened, aren't true, that they're lies. And that's all well and convenient for people to say, because they weren't there to bleed with me. They weren't there almost on death's door with me. There were 3 separate occasions where I thought I was dying, and each one of those times I was alone in a room. And I realized that this must be it. This is, no matter how much I love somebody, no matter how good I try to be to people, they don't collect, Christmas cards and evidence bags. And people ask me, would I even want to be friends with her? And truth is no, I don't, but I always felt that she should know what the truth of the things that she thought were. I always thought she should know that what she gave up was being loved unconditionally by someone who looked at her like she was the goddess of goddesses, she was my reason for existing. Yeah, anyway, I just wanted to get that out because I can't say it out loud to anybody else. Can't say it to my friends. I haven't dated anybody or been with anybody since she left, and I don't intend to. I cannot let another woman believe that she's going to be loved in the manner with which I loved my wife. Like, it's never gonna happen for them. Anyway, that's it.